Oh, well, he does it in F. You can, well, let's do it in A just because that's more common. And then you can kind of review it in F with his video. It's kind of simple in a way. So it's a 1-4-5 blues he's talking about. That'd be A7 to D7. And then A7. Cool. And then E7. And that's really our 1-4-5, you know. So other than that, you can go from E to D, or you can go from E back to A, you know, whatever. Anyway, so what he does, he talks about using A minor pentatonic over the A7. We've talked about, I mean, we've as guitar players, we've both known that for a long time. We've talked about how you have to bend the thirds. And that is what makes it, fit the dominant chord. It needs a major third because dominant chords have a major triad. So you can bend it, you can slide, you can do it like quickly. Or you can do it really slow, drawn out, like, you know? Yeah. And then, of course, you got your blues and all that. But so that's just doing A minor over A7. That's pretty old news. Now, then what he does is over the A7, he does, over the D7, he does a F sharp. Same minor pentatonic. All right. Now, if you just play that F sharp, you'll find one of those notes sounds a little funny. And the note that should sound, or that will sound funny, is going to be the C sharp, because that's a major 7. But the D7 is a dominant chord, not a major 7 chord. So we can't have a seventh. We need a flat seventh, and that's why he flats, quote, the fifth of his pentatonic scale. Which is because it's really it's a flat seventh in relation to the chord. So he plays the pentatonic scale, but he flats the fifth every time. So there's a few ways you could do that. The beginning's pretty simple. And then here, you can go up with your pinky from the fourth to the flat 5. Cool. Cool. Now, there's a second place you could play it. It's going to be the first fret of the, in this case, the first fret of the B string. That's kind of tricky. And then, of course, you go on with the rest of the pentatonic as usual. It's a D7 chord, the 4 chord. So here's a way you can look at this. We've talked a little bit about this before. It's kind of advanced, but I'll just put it out there. I'll put it this way. Okay, you got a harmonized scale, right? The first chord is major. Exactly. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. So ignore these messages. All right, so major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. And yeah, from the minor ones, you can play the minor pentatonic over where all the major modes would be. All right, so like if you were in the key of C, right, the minor, you could play the minor pentatonic from D and from E and from A, because those are your 2, 3, and 6 chord. Make sense? All right, cool. So what he's doing here, these chords have major triads. They're dominant chords, right? But they're major triads. So you can look at that D chord like it were a 4 chord, and the diatonic 4 chord, meaning with a major 7. And that would give you certain options. You'd be in the key of A, or you could look at it as a D major chord, and that would give you certain options, right? So what is this note in relation, F sharp, in relation to D? Exactly, major third. So if you were looking at the D chord, we'll just call it a D triad for now, because the dominant chord has a triad in it. If you're looking at it as a 1 chord, then the third would be F sharp, right? And it's like major, minor, minor. So over that D chord, if it were just a triad, and if it were the 1 chord, you could play E minor pentatonic, or you could play F sharp minor pentatonic. Hear that? That note right there is a major 7. Cool. Anyway, so you can play over a D chord, you can play an F sharp minor pentatonic. Only problem is it has a major 7. And since this is a dominant chord, you need to flat that 7, and that's all he does. He just flats the major 7 down to a flat 7. Right? Now, if we're looking at it in context of our F sharp minor pentatonic scale, then it's going to look like a flat 5, you know, because if you look at it as F sharp were the root, and you're used to playing it as your blues, like if we played an ordinary blues pentatonic, right? Only thing is, F sharp's not the root of the chord, right? It's a D chord. So the note we're flatting is a C sharp. C sharp would be a major 7, and we need it to be a flat 7 to be dominant. And so that's all he does. No, that's it'd be like F sharp Lydian, except it's not really Lydian because it's also got a minor third, so it's not really a Lydian thing. It's just that this is a tritone, right? Even still, it's the 7th and the third. Here's the 3rd, and here's the 7th. Looking at it in relation to the D. But it does have a 6th. The B is a 6th. So it's actually kind of like he's playing a 13, like a D13. But anyways, so we've got A minor pentatonic for the A7 chord, moving the 3rd. And then when he goes to the D, we've got F sharp minor pentatonic flatting the 5th. All right, anyway, that's the idea behind that. And then when he goes to the 5 chord, E7, he plays the A minor pentatonic again. Right? Except that A is the 4th, and we want to avoid that, because remember we talked about the 4 is really tense against the major 3rd. So what he does is he swaps out the 4th, rather flats it to be a 3rd. So he plays the A minor pentatonic scale just without an A. Instead of A, he played G sharp. I messed it up. There we go, yeah. Don't forget the 5th fret. It's just an ordinary pentatonic scale flatting the root, as weird as that is. That's how he looks at it. Oops. Anyway, so that note right there sounds like the outside one, right? When you're playing. But that's actually, it's really inside. That's the 3rd. Cool. So the tricky part is you have to kind of detach your idea of always referencing the low note as the root, you know? That's not the root. And we're not playing some weird scale. We're really, I mean, we are kind of in a way, because there are some alterations. Like, this is the 3rd, though, that's my point. The 2nd note, this is a sharp 5. And then this note obviously is a flat 7 in the root. Sharp 9, and then the 3rd. Cool. And that's where we started, was the 3rd. So it's actually all from the altered scale. But you can bend that to get your A flat.